so then you go to school, you go to Harvard, and you get your degree in architecture. Is that grad school or?
Yeah,
That's grad school.
grad school.
And then you go to Europe, or you had already studied abroad at some point. What is it about? Is that something that every architect should do? Should go overseas and see a different way of thinking about buildings, or is it a different way of thinking about buildings?
The thing that's so interesting about, I mean, right now we're in this kind of global, phase of architecture where all of us architects, we're working all over the place in different parts of the world. So just being able to travel, it gives you great insight into, what other people are doing. Plus, I came from Belvedere, Illinois, so there wasn't really that much architecture there.
Sure. What do you think when you're like driving back from O'Hare and you see those just unbelievably crappy box-like buildings for different corporations? I mean, I make the same joke every time I drive by. I go, "There's a Mies van der Rohe," and I think it's funny and nobody else does. But I mean, what do you think? Do you get like insulted? You say, "Well, how can somebody make that piece of crap?"
Oh man, I mean, I think someone told me that only something like 2% of all buildings built are done by architects.
And the rest are done by
seamstresses?
What are they?
They're either like, some plan that was done before and it's used again
I gotcha.
and things like that. And especially for houses, people just use, pattern books and stuff.
Sure.
So there's so much out there that isn't actually designed. It's kind of scary because that's the kind of world that we're building around ourselves. So we need to hire more architects and design, our environments.
Well, let me ask you: if you go looking for a condo now in the city, inevitably you will visit several kind of cookie cutter places, and you'll get really kind of despondent about the state of so many buildings. But has it always been that way? If you go back to the 1920s, were people making the same crap just with like ornate lions on the thing? So
yeah, it's just that the crap that they're making then, now it looks good to us.
But why? That's what I'm saying. Will today's crap look good tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I could see a whole market in, authentic,
Granite countertops.
No, like I was gonna say, like drive it, It becomes
drive
like,
it, man. We got out of a deal because we heard that there was drive it in the house. That's a nightmare I don't want to revisit. Okay, so you go to Europe and you work for, and I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong, Rem Koolhaas?
Haas, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you work with him and then you come back to Chicago. Was it always you grew up here, was it always the plan to come back to Chicago?
Oh, no, I was trying to, from over there, trying to think about which city I would come back to. And New York, Chicago, or LA, cities that have buildings.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Chicago just has this, a little bit luck again too, because of the amazing thing that was going on with embracing green and ecological practices in architecture. So that at the same time when I was coming back here, and also I think it was just, I don't know, Chicago is just this place that has so much diversity, and that's really important to, like, the way that I think and the way that we think in the office. There's something called diversity theorem. It's like a math idea that, you can create a better product, or you can solve a problem better if you have more different types of people working on it. And that's so cool about Chicago. I think there's something like, there's so many different types of people here, and that was appealing too.
Well, you also talk about Studio Gang as being kind of a think tank. Can you kind of expound on what you mean by that?
Yeah. We like to, the way that we work is we first hopefully we get a project, but then we try to go through a lot of different ideas and different research topics and get into this really healthy discussion about what it could be. And we kind of work like a swarm, and then we're in the middle of it right now. Some people are here. And,
can I ask what the project is, or
no?
No. Okay.
And so that process that process is a lot like a think tank, and we go out and we do research, which is so much easier to do now, with technology, and we bring that back and we analyze it, and we try to make the buildings have some kind of resonance with the program and the client that we're working with.
So in other words, are there architects that will create a building and they'll just be like, this is what I like, I don't care that you're going to live in it, this building has no rooms. But that's my style. Or are there architects that just, it's their vision that matters, and then there are other architects, and I get the sense that you're one of them, that says, oh, this building is going to be used for this purpose, well, I'll design it with that in mind.
Yeah, it helps to know the purpose of the building.
Yeah.
No, but we it's not like that we don't have an artistic vision, we do. But we like to have it more shaped by what the thing is going to be in the world. And we have our own, like, random interests, too, that we bring into the project. Like right now, we've been looking into mushrooms.
Well, really?
Yeah.
I can get with that. I've seen the Aqua Tower. What are you doing with mushrooms? Be careful with the ones you pick,
Yeah. Well, we're
Like the Smurf houses? Because it's been done before.
That's good. No, well, we're doing a nature center, and we're working with a mycologist who is a specialist in mushrooms, and we found out that they actually make everything else grow really well before they pop up and become Smurf houses. They're under the ground. And also that they improve all the growth of all the other plants. And some people say they're going to save the planet.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So.
Because I just get annoyed with them in my yard. But you've got to talk about, if you will, for a second, the environmental center that you designed, Ford Calumet, and that was an area that was the steel area of the country, of the world.
Yeah.
And now they're making a real big push in that neighborhood to become a real environmental center. And you design a building, and you talk about it as being kind of designing it the way a bird would design a nest.
Yeah, the building is, we're trying to do a building that's very ecological, light on the land, and it's a place where people are going to come to learn about the area, Calumet, both the cultural, history of it, but also that it's this amazing migratory bird stopping ground. And so we thought that, it'd be really synergistic to think about designing it like a nest is made, with all this abundant and discarded materials from nearby, from Calumet. So when people walk through the building, they get, both the cultural connection to the steel that's used, but also it's designed to be like a bird-safe building, so those migratory birds won't kill themselves when they are stopping there.
But same with Aqua Tower, right? Birds will not hit Aqua Tower. They'll hit another building next to it.
Yeah, we're on a migratory bird path in Chicago because we're on this waterway. So, glass is a big killer of birds, something like 93 million birds annually.
Oh, really?
Just in North America. So, which makes architects like the biggest killers of birds, after, more so than cats.